Okay, in problem number 7, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw our line. We can put the left side in y equals, the right side in y equals, and at least figure out which one of these numbers the answer is. Okay, so let's type it in y equals. Y equals 3 parentheses x plus 5, close parentheses, and y equals 9 minus 3x. Hit the house button, make sure that you can see where they cross. Make sure you go touch where they cross, and that's going to be your answer here, one of those 4 numbers. Okay, we still have to figure out the signs, and I know for sure I can cancel these 2 because that's not what that one looks like. It doesn't have an equal sign at the bottom. Okay, if we do it by hand, first thing is to distribute. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 5 is a positive 15. Bring down the symbol, 9 minus 3x. Okay, the next step is to move the smallest variable. So here we go. I'm going to add 3x to both sides. That gives me a positive 6x plus 15. Bring down the symbol, 9. C do. Okay, what do I see happening with the x? The x is multiplying by 6, and they added 15. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 15 from both sides, so they can cancel, and then that leaves me with 6x greater than negative 6. I'm going to divide both sides by a positive 6. So because I'm dividing by a positive, the symbol is going to stay the same. Okay, the symbol is not going to flip. So that means we can go ahead and pick our symbol right there and then pick out the number, whatever it gives us. That's a negative 6 divided by a positive 6. So the answer for this one is x greater than negative 1. So just so you know, the answers were not correct on here. So make sure you scratch those off. Okay, it will be correct on the test. So make sure you listened up closely. Let's do the next one. So right here we're going to draw our line. It says to solve for y. So we're going to see do. What do we see happening with the y? The y is being multiplied by 4, and they added 2x. So the first thing we're going to do is to subtract 2x from both sides. So we're going to get rid of that one by subtracting 2x. Bring down the 4y equals, and then read it. It's 12 minus 2x, so I'm going to write down 12 minus 2x. Okay, the last step is to divide by 4. So I'm going to divide this by 4, this by 4, this by 4. Everything divided by 4. So y equals 12 divided by 4 equals 3. And negative 2 divided by 4. Hit the fraction button. right here. It gives you a negative 1/2 x. Okay, so look at the answer choices. Make sure that the 1/2 is a negative and that the 3 is positive. So right here it says that 1/2 is negative and the 3 is positive. So my answer is B. Problem number 9 tells you to solve for L. So C do. What do you see happening with the L? The L is adding W, so I see plus W, and it is multiplying by 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is to divide by 2 on both sides. So when you draw that line, that means division. So divide by 2, so that the 2 cancels. Okay, now I have P divided by 2 equals L plus W. And we have to subtract W from both sides so that that W can cancel. Minus W, minus W. So here's your answer. Go ahead and look for it. We've done this one before, but we're going to do it again. Draw your line. C do. Let me put it on the other side. C do. It says solve for C. So we need to see what is happening with my C. My C is multiplying by 9/5, and they added 32. So the first thing is to subtract 32 from both sides. So minus 32 minus 32, so that the 32 can cancel. And we read it that says F minus 32, so I write down F minus 32 equals 9/5 C. And then the last step is to divide by 9/5, which is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. Remember, you cannot divide by fractions. You multiply by the reciprocal. So the whole thing needs to be multiplied by 5/9 so that the 9/5 cancels. Okay, so go look for your answer in the answer choices. Right here, we can put the left side in y equals and the right side in y equals. So let's go type it. I have y equals 1/3. And I'm not going to give you the answer. You need to be typing it as well. Plus 1/4, arrow over, parentheses, x plus 2, close parentheses, minus 1/6. Okay, so go see where that one is. And then y equals 4. And then you look at where they cross, and that's going to be your answer, wherever they're crossing. Okay? If we do it by hand, let me erase this. The first thing is to distribute, so I'm going to distribute right here. 1/4 times x is a 1/4 x. Bring down the 1/3 x. That was a plus 1/4. And then 1/4 times 2, you can put that in decimals. 1/4 times 2. Hit the fraction button, is a positive 1/2. minus 1 over 6 equals 4. Step number 2 is to combine like terms. I can combine those two. So in Desmos, you type 1 divided by 3, arrow over plus 1 over 4, and hit the fraction button. The fraction button's right there. And that gives you 7 over 12x. You can also combine these two. And again, you would put that in Desmos, 1/2, arrow over, minus 1/6, hit the fraction button. Gives you a positive 1/3 equals 4. See do. What do I see happening with the x? It is multiplying by 7 over 12. And they added 1/3. So the first thing is to subtract 1/3. So minus 1/3 on both sides. So that's 4 minus 1 over 3. Hit the fraction button. That gives you 11 over 3 equals 7 over 12x. The last step is to divide, right, by a fraction, but when you're dividing by a fraction, you're really multiplying by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 12 over 7 so that the 7 over 12 cancels. Put it in Desmos, 11 divided by 3, arrow over, times 12 over 7. Hit the fraction button, and that will give you your answer. All right, the last problem. I'm going to rewrite it. 5x equals negative 2 parentheses 10 minus 3x. Remember, you can put that in y equals, and go see where they cross. First step is to distribute. So I have to distribute negative 2 times 10 gives me a negative 20. Negative 2 times a negative 3 is a positive 6x. Bring down the 5x equals. Subtract 6x from both sides. That leaves you with 5 minus 6. That's a negative 1. X equals negative 20. Divide both sides by negative 1, and that will give you your answer. You can also type them in y equals. Y equals 5x, and then the other one is y equals negative 2 parentheses 10 minus 3x close parentheses, and go see where they cross. Okay, and that will be your answer.